Hi, welcome everyone. Myself, the current chair of the course, and John Quinn from the School of Law and Government, who will be the chair from next year, and is currently the law stream coordinator. So welcome to this talk about the DCU MA in Data Protection and Privacy Law. And I call it a new program. This will be the third year that it's running. And it's a joint initiative of the School of Computing and the School of Law and Government in DCU. And that makes it really unique worldwide, because mostly we might do something about data protection and privacy engineering in the computing side, or we might do something about data protection and privacy law on the law side. But for this program, we've got them both together. So DCU, as you probably know, is one of the leading universities in the world. We are highly ranked for our graduate employment rate, and we're currently the highest ranked Irish young university, so less than 50 years old. Okay, so let's talk about this Master's in Data Protection and Privacy Law. I mean, why do we need this sort of new Master's? Well, everyone's heard, of course, of GDPR and the huge influx of activity around that. This has created at least 1,000 data protection officer posts in Ireland. IAP, which is the International Association of Privacy Professionals. So we have all these new posts that are created, but we also have, there's a new arrangement to the way society is going to work, isn't it? Because it basically ushers in a new set of rights or instantiates them with real powers for the regulators. And that means there's a bunch of new responsibilities for data processors. And who isn't a data processor nowadays, as we see increased prevalence of information technology as it sort of weasels its way into every aspect of the world. And it's even coming in and sort of connecting with the real world in terms of the Internet of Things and things like that. So we have a massive increase in the scope of its influence, and therefore everyone is processing data all the time. And this means that from the computer science side, we've got a whole bunch of new architecture challenges for the types of IT systems we're going to build. They're going to be privacy aware. They're going to respect GDPR. And that also means that there's a whole new bunch of auditing and regulation challenges and opportunities, and the people that can navigate those things in the smartest way and build the best sort of systems that are GDPR compliant and keep in check with that and navigate the legislation, they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to compete. And so it's very rare for people to be able to understand the implications of both of those things. What group of people are going to understand both the legal implications of these types of systems we need to build and also the technology implications? And that's what we're trying to do in this course, is build a bunch of people that will have those skills and capabilities. And just up in the top corner there, there's a picture of one of my PhD students did, showing, all the different responsibilities that a data protection officer has in an organization, and all the different types of people that they have to report to, both, talking to the data subjects, talking to regulators, talking to the board, and all those sort of communications nowadays are being mitigated through information technology, right? So there's a lot of different complexity to get on top of. So that brings us to our course then. We've got two options, a 12-month full-time or 24-month part-time course. And we have two streams within the course and a common core. First of all, we have the law stream, which is our most popular stream. Approximately 70% of people going through the course are on the law stream. They would have a background in law or some sort of interdisciplinary degree with a major law component, or perhaps they're from a different domain, but they've been working in data protection for a while, and they would join our law stream. In the computing stream, they've got some computer science, engineering, or related discipline as a background. And as I think I've showed, the type of careers that we're targeting are, data protection officers or joining a data protection team, risk and compliance officers, privacy engineers, IT systems architect, and perhaps even CIO of a company. So this slide just shows the structure of the course. At the top, we have the red sort of core of the course that everyone takes, no matter what stream they're on. They have a core module on European data protection law, another core module on data governance that I give, a core module on AI, information and information seeking, to understand this new world of data processing that we're living in. And then if you're on the computing stream, you do a research practice course, a research methods course, and you'll do what we call a practicum, which is a practical oriented assignment that lasts for the full year, where you develop a project with your supervisor, do some experiments, and hopefully write a research paper out of it. And then you can have some options both on the computing side. Most people do our data management and visualization. And even the people in the computing stream get to pick another law option as well. And typically we advise people to take the comparative privacy law course, which is given by one of our colleagues in Stanford University, which gives us, that sort of US focused aspect on what privacy means over there, so that we can see it both from the EU side and the US side. If you're doing the law stream, you also do a research methods course. Instead of the practicum, you do a dissertation, again, with a supervisor over the 12 months. And then within the law stream behind my head there, you can see, once again, you can do the comparative privacy law, but there's other options in terms of EU and human rights law that are possible. And that's actually been extended slightly this year, and the number of options available. So we'll do questions at the end, if that's okay. So in terms of the way, like, a lot of people are interested in how does the timing work? And particularly people that are coming on the part-time stream, which is very popular. In our first year, actually 50% of the people were part-time. This year it's dropped down to being closer to a third. But still, we've got a very strong engagement of part-time people that are working, doing data protection and privacy as their job. And that's been really good in terms of getting discussion going in the classes and so forth, that we get this mix of the, maybe lecturer coming from a slightly academic angle, and then the people that are working saying, well, we've got these practical problems, either this is how it works in practice, or how do you solve this? And we've seen that working out several times in the class. So for the full-time option, I say it's a full 12 months, so we work all the way through. We have 2 semesters with 3 modules per week. Exact number of hours depends on which course, which stream you're doing, as computing modules tend to have a little bit more hours in lectures and practicals, whereas the law modules have a bit more in terms of reading work that's associated with the lecture hours. And then over the summer, we do the dissertation or the practicum. For the part-time 24 months, you do 2 semesters with 2 modules each, and then you have the summer off. And then in year 2, you do 2 semesters with 1 module plus your practicum or dissertation in parallel. And then you continue to work that during the summer. And so this year will be our first graduates from the part-time course. And we're expecting great things of them. Some of them are extremely strong. So another question that people ask is, well, how are we going to deliver this in 21, 22? So once again, we'll have blended delivery just like this year. So the structure we used is we have our lectures constrained to approximately 1 hour synchronized sessions during the week, which are highly interactive sessions. and approximately an hour of asynchronous material, for example, videos. It depends on the exact course, being provided as well. We're very conscious of how we can build a cohort and a class feeling within the master's group. And so we have, during term, we have weekly seminars or clinics, many of whom with external speakers, for example, Truada, Oracle, and some of the big law firms have spoken as well. Arthur Cox, for example, are deeply involved with the course. We also facilitate weekly online coffee breaks from the students so that they can mingle. There's quite a lot of emphasis on group work within the course. And so this forces the students to work together and communicate together. And they've said it's been very important for making sure that they have that feeling of being in a class. And I think it would be fair to say that, you know, that's one of the sort of cultural exchange aspects of the course, that for the law students, the computing side has more group work than they traditionally have. And then for the computing students, they have more reading than they would have to do normally. So that's just one of the things that happens in the course, that those different cultures are being mixed. One question, I'm the coordinator of the computing stream as well as the chair. Next year I'll step down and John's going to take over as chair. He's law stream coordinator at the moment. But for the computing streams, you know, like what sort of programming skills do I need to join the computing stream? So the reality is that lots of the people in the computing stream, even though they have technical qualifications, are already working in data protection, maybe as consultants. And so we don't, the computing courses in general don't have programming required, except there's two exceptions to that. And that's if you're in the computing stream and you do one of the computing options courses, there is some programming, sort of scripting, Python type stuff. And for your practicum, if you're in the computing stream, you probably will have to do some programming of some sort. But within computing, we also include the sort of discipline of information systems. So we have people working on ontologies, on workflows and processes and models, as well as raw computing, computer programming. So example projects that we've either worked on within the course or within the center is looking at machine readable GDPR legal text, looking at the domain of data privacy. How do we make a model so that computers can tag text or talk about the concepts of data privacy? We have a guy that's studying how we make the register of processing activities. The ROPA is a pivotal sort of document that you must have within GDPR. And how do we make an electronic version of that, and what's required, and what could we do automatically? In terms of the computer science side of things, I'm a member of Science Foundation Ireland's ADAPT Centre, which is a large sort of 200-person research centre spread across DCU, TCD, and several other Irish universities. And so quite a lot of the activity within the sort of data protection and privacy computing side, it also carries on within the ADAPT Centre. And so we've got a kind of synergy between the course and the centre. So I thought it would be useful to give you this sort of breakdown of the original class that we had in 2019-20 to see that we have a very diverse group that are entering into this degree. We had 8 full-time, 11 part-time participants. We had 4 in the computing stream, 15 in the law stream. In terms of work experience, we had people that were fresh from their law degree in 2019 to someone who was already a data governance manager for 4,500 staff. So huge spread in terms of capabilities. For nationalities, obviously we had people from Ireland, but we also had Georgia, England, India. And in terms of the law backgrounds, of course, we had people doing things like law and politics, both at DCU and TCD. But we also had people who had gone on to do, an advanced diploma in King's Inns, perhaps on the basis of some other original qualification. For the computing background, we had, I say, a bunch of people, already with a master's in big data or a bachelor's in electronic engineering or computer science. And we had quite a few people from a nursing or health informatics type area as well, because of course data protection is very important and quite mature in that area. Okay. So this is just a slide showing the people. So John was one of the people that led up the development of the original course, and I assisted him. This link here takes you to a website that I've developed for the course that includes a frequently asked questions that are useful. And we've got a dedicated email address, this MDPP, which is the short name for the course, at dcu.ie, and that'll get to myself or John if you have any queries after this. Okay. So then deadlines. So the current deadlines, they're the old deadlines. I don't know how that happened. So the 16th of August and July, I believe, are the respective deadlines. So July for non-EU applications and August for EU applications.